There's this moment in Acts that I believe is pivotal and we often miss. He's going throughout the land and he is evangelizing, he is spreading the gospel, he is sharing his story, how he went from Saul to Paul and what Jesus is doing. Now he's going from city to city to city. And there's a point in Acts where he gets to this one city and he spreads the gospel. He spreads the message. People are saved, baptized, and changed. Now, in this moment, they ask him a pivotal question. They say, Paul, can you stay a little while longer? And I think it's so powerful to understand what Paul says next. He says, no. He says, no. If it is God's will, I will be back. Now, you can read that and look at Paul and go, wow, why would he not stay? Why would somebody that just transformed their life through the power of the gospel, the power of Jesus, not want to stay and disciple? And I think there is a huge moment here and a huge shift in something that I want you to know about the power of no. Paul says no to a good thing so that he can do what he's been called to do on this earth. Paul has been put on earth to evangelize. Paul has been put on earth to share the gospel, to advance the gospel, to preach the gospel. That is his purpose. That is his mission. Now, somebody comes to him that wants him to stay and disciple. Paul realizes the power of no. He realizes that doing something good actually derails you from doing something great that God has called you to. Now, you might be in a season where you just can't stop saying yes. You say yes to everybody. You say yes to everyone's call. You say yes to everyone's Instagram DM. You say yes to every job. You say yes to every after school activity. You say yes to everything that gets asked of you. But I want to ask you really quickly, what if you said no? Would it actually free you up to fulfill your ultimate purpose? Would it free you up to fulfill your ultimate calling in life? Paul knew the power of no. 3 things you need to understand about saying no. Number 1, a good thing can stop you from your purpose. A good thing can stop you from your purpose. When there are requests given to you to do something good, in Paul's situation, it's disciple. It's helping them grow in their faith. Paul knew somebody else could do that job. Somebody else could disciple and help them grow in their faith, and they could grow each other. But what nobody else could do was to be able to tell Paul's story, to be able to tell it his way, to be able to share the gospel the way God had called him to share it. Nobody else on this planet could do the job that God had given Paul. And for him to spend time away from doing that job and fulfilling his ultimate calling, it was taking away from his effectiveness to his ultimate calling if he were to go and do something good like disciple, right? And that doesn't mean Paul never discipled and Paul never stayed, but he says no in this situation, that the will of God, he will be back. He will be back if it is God's will. So for you, a good thing can stop you from your purpose. How many things are you saying yes to right now? How many things do you need to start saying no to because it would actually free you up to do what you've been called to do? I want to give you permission today to start to say no to things so that you can say yes to your purpose, so that you can say yes to your calling, so you can become the best version that God has called you to be. The second thing that happens, when you say no, your value goes up. When you say no, your value goes up. I was talking to one of my friends, Jared. He's a speaker. And for a long time, he'd done thousands of messages at schools, and he would go anywhere. He would go wherever somebody wanted to hire him. But at some point, he started to see that these people didn't value what I did. They just valued my ability to come to them. And he was taking all of these small deals in these remote parts of the country, and it was actually costing him more money than what he was making. And he had to, at some point, draw a line in the sand and say, no, I'm not going there. I'm only going where somebody knows my full value and knows exactly what I am worth. And as soon as he started to say no, his value skyrocketed. Now, today, Jared is one of the most well sought after motivational speakers in the public school space in the world through the power of saying no. So, what things do you just need to say no to so that it'll allow you to bring your value up in what you do? And then the last thing that happens when you say no, you become an expert. When you say no, you become an expert. There's that saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none. Right now, do you say yes to so many things that you become a jack of all trades at the office, that you become the person that can do the spreadsheet, that you become the person that can do anything that they ask? But when you do that, don't you hinder your ability to become an expert? An expert is somebody who's a master at one thing, a master at the craft. They spend hours and hours and hours and years compounding the one skill. LeBron James, Steph Curry, right? Those people are not jack of all trades. They are excellent. They are masters at their craft. And because they do it over and over and over again. Paul knew that if he were to say no to something good, he could become the master of evangelism, the master of advancing the gospel, the master of saving souls. But if he said yes to things that were outside of his giftedness, say yes to things that were outside of his calling, he wouldn't have become as great as he did, to advance the mission as great as he did. So I want to ask you today, is there an area in your life where you need to stop saying yes so that you can start saying yes to God? And you need to start saying no so that you can say yes to God and his purpose for your life and become the expert. The power of saying no, my friends. When you say no, you say yes to your destiny.